Oh, hello. Can you hear me, guys? Hey, guys, drop. Hey, guys, drop in the comments if you can hear me. Like, I think for a few minutes you couldn't hear me, so just drop. Okay, awesome, loud and clear, guys. Awesome. Um, guys, Facebook's been giving like everyone like a hard time recently. As you guys probably noticed, like we see a lot of data. We see a lot of data through like many businesses and even the brands that you think are big. Even the people that you would see like on that have like big YouTube channels, like hundreds of thousands of subscribers that have like brands. They're struggling right now. They're struggling hard. So it's not only you, but in our business, I mean, we're doing okay. And guys, I want to show you like the stuff that we are doing right now is that is working, and the stuff right now that we are like implementing. So I want to show you guys. So even right now here, look at this, guys. This is this is what you want your this is what you want um your business manager to look like, right? Let me show you guys. Let me know if you can see my screen. I want to share something good with you, and then we will get started. I see some people asking like, what happened to your arm? Just an accident. been been driving not as safe as I should, and got into accident. So guys, when you drive, just be careful. Like, I always drive careful. I drive like a old like grandma, many cases, but sometimes I'm not driving as safe as I should. So this is what happened here. And like, guys, when you drive, be careful. And I want to show you guys, let me know if you can see my screen. This this could be inspiring for you guys. Let me know if you can see my screen. All right, can you see my screen, guys? um Trying to share. No screen. No screen. Let me see here. All right, can you see my screen now? All right, guys, can you see my screen? So you can see here, right? Like, this is like last 30 days, right? This is last 30 days, and we spent $177,000 on this account. I think when we submitted, they did 400. So this year has done more than half a million in revenue. This year has done more than half a million in revenue. So it is approximately, um, it's not 3x. It's not 3x blended, but it's close to it. And we're running here on like 35% profit margins. So pretty much like mostly driven, guys, by the Facebook, like many businesses. You can see, I mean, the reach and impressions here, like 5 million impressions, 18 5 million people reached, like 80 million impressions. Like, we're hitting the same people again and again, like everyone else, right? Like 3x, almost like 3x like frequency, which is which is kind of like on a higher side. But you can see, guys, here, that's what's interesting. So this is from the beginning of the month. So half of the months, we're gonna spend like 100 G's here. So probably this month we will finish with about $200,000 in ad spend, and we're on track to hit 600 G's. So, which comes down to like 3x blended ROAS, right? 35, like 40% profit margins, depending on the months. And that's guys what I want to show you. Kind of like we we've had issues like everyone else. We just had to adapt, right? And I know a lot of businesses that are running like on 5-10% profit margins. Like if you're running on 5-10% profit margins, like there's no like there's no like it doesn't make sense to be in business. Like it just like you have to maximize your profit margins, guys. If you can drop like we'll start just in a minute. I'll go into like content, and we'll show you guys some of the like tactical stuff that we are doing on our side to get these kind of results. But from your side, just drop the questions if you have like any questions in regards to like running your ads or like e-commerce or profitability, guys. Drop those questions. I'll make breaks for answering your questions, so I can help you guys as much as I can. And we will go from there, guys. So yeah, just drop your questions. I think that would be awesome. It's like if I can answer some questions and maybe someone else like had exactly the same question, and now like I answered that question not only for you but for other people, and that will be helpful and amazing for everyone. So guys, I'll go into like presentation. I prepared like a presentation here for you, and that's something, guys, that I think um, a lot of people are struggling right now with. Like I think the essence of my presentation will come down to the fact that um, you know the creative, right, is the creative is like the most important part like of running like successful ads. And guys, I want to show you kind of like our inspiration process, and also the process for testing like new creatives. So what we are doing right now is, I'll share my screen. I'll start. Yeah, so very good. Very good questions, guys. Thank you so much for dropping these on. Like I'll be making like breaks like as I go through like through the content, through the tactics, and then I'll be sharing stuff with you guys. So let me know if you can see my screen, guys. Let me know if you can see my screen, because here's what I have noticed. Like at any time, right? Like, and you guys might have some hard times right now, like scaling your ads, or you might have like amazing time scaling your ads. At any times, there's like businesses that are outliers, right? There are businesses that are doing well no matter what, right? And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for kind of like role models of businesses that adapt to any environment, right? There are businesses that kind of like been impacted by iOS 14, and there are businesses that haven't been impacted by iOS 14. I mean, maybe they had like a slight dip. For me, it all comes down to whether like you are adapting like as fast as you can to new changes that are happening. So what I'm doing like almost like on a daily basis is I'm getting like inspiration from like brands that are doing well, right? And so I show my Nia here because my Nia is like one of those tools that can help you to get this kind of like inspiration if you want, right? Like, so what I'm usually looking for at is like 200, like 50, like even like 500 likes plus. So I'm looking at the ads, right, that have, you can see this is what's important, right? Like how many days the particular ad has been around, right? So if ad has been around for like months at a time, it means that it's successful, right? Like, so for instance, if I look in here, let's see this ad here. So what I'm doing pretty much on a day-to-day basis, and what our team is good at right now is like pretty much looking at the inspiration from like all of these like different brands. And guys, we have like a swipe file of brands that are like, we're pretty much like monitoring, right? To see like inspiration from their ads, and that's pretty much what we're using. So we constantly want to be like on a like this is very cool product. We constantly want to be on a cutting edge of content, right? Because like the content is what you usually see when your ads stop performing, is when your ads are not like click rate goes down, right? Like your CPMs go up, right? You can see like one product store pretty much done pretty well here. Is, guys, if that's your store and you're watching, that's like, I'm sorry about that. You probably will have more people more people running the same product. But it's like, what I'm looking for is an ad, right? Because the ad is what matters. So it's, yeah, it's like you can see pretty like new page here, created only like few. Yeah, it's like someone from Australia, like one person. Let me see how many ads. Yeah, 35 ads for this same product, right? Interesting product. Interesting product. Guys, if I called you out, I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to do that. If I called out your product, but that's what we do. We're getting inspired like every day by new ads. So that allows us to kind of constantly test these like new creatives. So we get these like new creatives, like new inspiration. Even if I see something on Instagram, even if I see something on let's say on Facebook as an ad, like that looks good on TikTok, I'm sending those directly to our content team, to our video editors. Hey, can we do something like that? Can we do like new variations? Maybe that's like beginning, like first like 3 seconds are very interesting, so we can test it. Because what you will see, guys, is that once you find that like good creative, you might have seen it before, like in your business, where like you have like a winning creative, and that's pretty much what makes you all the money, right? So why not creating that like constant creative testing process, so you constantly getting new creatives and you constantly testing new stuff. A lot of people getting stuck like, oh, it's like I tested 10 creatives and they didn't work, right? Like that's not enough. Like that's not enough, guys. Like if you're testing like 10 creatives and they didn't work out, that doesn't mean shit. It's like the same as, oh, I've tried like you know, Elon Musk would say like, oh, I tried to sell like Tesla like for 3 years and it doesn't sell. Fuck it, you know, I'm closing the business, you know. And he was so close to like closing the business because like he had these financial difficulties, right? So if you're in business, it doesn't fucking fly. Like these excuses these excuses, they don't fly. Like, hey, you know, I've tested 20 creatives, they didn't work, you know. So I'm now like, I don't know, I'll do something else. Now obviously you learn from what happened. 100% you learn from something that happened. Okay, you've tested, let's say, 20 creatives of the same format and it doesn't work. Maybe it's time to test something different. So using tools like Mynea, you can get that like inspiration in terms of like what's working right now. And guys, just come and swipe, right? Guys, I will send you like a swipe file that the brands that I'm like monitoring, like I'm monitoring their ads, I'm monitoring their like kind of like what they're introducing. So then I'm constantly knowing like what is happening right now in the space and what's working, right? Obviously we have advantage because we have access to um, to more data, kind of like beyond those brands, like, and what's working right now. But this is what you can do to get the um inspiration. So let me answer some of the questions, guys, and we'll go into more like tactical stuff, like into like targeting and stuff like that. So let me see here. How many creatives to test at one time? I would recommend to test between 5 and 10 at least. So you're pretty much creating batches, right? Like maybe it's like the same creative but like different like first 5 seconds, right? So now you will observe like which 5 seconds are like resonating the most and getting the best like click-through rate, and that's what can help you to get kind of like better idea on what's working, because it's all learning process. It's not about like even if you find like that's guys, what you will find is like, you even if you find the creative that works like right now, it doesn't matter, because like, let's say in um like 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 months, like human behavior changes, right? And they don't react to that creative. Like, I mean, we've had creatives 2000, like 17, 18, 19, 20. I wish those creatives worked. Like, I mean, I wish they worked until today, but like over time, the way they do it is like, they go well, right? They get like a lot of engagement, getting like a lot of sales, and then they drop in performance, right? So the performance always changes. And guys, and I want to give you like one, this is something that like no one talks about. So look at this, right? So I use my knee as an example. You didn't have to use my knee, I can do it like manually. But I think where everything kind of like, where the best like inspiration comes from right now is actually the TikTok, right? TikTok gives you like the inspiration in terms of like what's working, like there is no tomorrow, because TikTok is like, TikTok human behavior is very, very like dynamic. Like, you can't just like, like on TikTok, if it doesn't work like 1 second, like human attention span on TikTok is that fast. Like, if it doesn't work like 1 second, if people don't click on it, if people don't watch it, it's gone, right? So you can see it, for instance, here. So very cool ad. Now, if you're selling like, so just started today, already 58K likes, 7K likes, 58 plays. The ad, I believe it is today, like 16 of August, right? Let me see what this ad sells here. See product. All right, so I see they're driving people here. It's kind of like a general store for cats, it seems like. But here's what you see. You see, you see more of the place. 9 million. 9 million. How crazy is this, right? I mean, obviously, pets, like, that's why it could be like more engagement than usual. But this is your inspiration for ads, guys. Like, so not only look for the inspiration on the Facebook, on like, it's kind of like everyone is looking at each other ads. Everyone is looking at, oh, it's like what these guys are doing. Oh, I know these guys are doing volume. Oh, okay, let's just like copy like what they do. And like, so is that like a real Nick Peroni? That Nick Peroni? My man, Nick Peroni here. Um, thank you for joining. So if my Facebook account is banned, this just using multi-login and proxies. Yeah, most of the cases. So if you cannot use like friends and family profiles, um, so the easiest solution can be to use like family, team members, friends, and use like team viewer to access those profiles. I mean, that is very like reliable setup. If you're doing compliance stuff, I mean, we've had those kind of like setups like working for years with no issues at all. So it just has to be like a separate like laptop with that profile logged in, and then you just log into like team viewer, and you can manage ads from there. It's slightly like slowly loading, but I mean, that could be the setup. If that doesn't work, or if you don't have like friends, family that you can ask for that, then yeah, multi-login and proxies would be the way to go. So we talked about creative, right? Like, so creative is like something that you have to constantly be on a cutting edge, right? So not only look for people in your space, right? A lot of the inspiration will come from people like running ads on the different platforms in different countries, and different niches, right? So it doesn't have to be just like, hey, let's see what these other like, let's say if you do drop shipping, let's say what these other drop shippers do, and like just copy what they do. No, like, let's figure out like other industries and other niches and how big brands are actually approaching that. But for big brands, you want to look at something that is like more like direct response. You don't want to look at like Coca-Cola, for instance, right? That's by big brands, like I mean big like direct response brands, right? Direct response means like they have to be profitable, right? These are brands that like usually don't have a lot of like venture capital, bootstrapped, funding the business with their own money, and that's who you want to look for. So, guys, let me answer like another one here. So, when do you know creative has potential before giving up on it? So usually the way we do it, the way we structure the the testing, we would have, let's say, 5-10 ad sets like with audiences that are different. So let's say we have lookalikes, we have interests, we have some broad audiences. And so what we do is we drop that creative into like uh, each one of these, right? So we pretty much want to give it like a proper shot. Like as you said, before giving up on it, we want to make sure that we gave it like a proper shot with different audiences. Because, for example, maybe the creative doesn't work with a specific audience, for instance. So that might happen. So in that case, we want to eliminate that risk of like making premature decisions on the creative, and especially if we spend some time and some resource and money on it before giving up on it. So we're testing like 5-10, and if all of them, right, like don't perform well, like simply like don't convert and click-through rate is low, usually like if it's, first of all, if like the click-through rate, uh sorry, this the CPC, right, like if CPC is high, usually that just means it's not good enough creative. So if it's like, let's say $2-3, like $5 cost per click, it means creative not good. Okay, so what do we do in that case? In that case, we just have to analyze and break it down, like why that is not good creative. Okay, so maybe the first like few seconds um are not dynamic enough, right? Maybe the let's say the thumbnail is very like boring, right? Like, or thumbnail, like no one wants to click on it, right? Maybe it's I don't know, the structure of the creative is not dynamic enough. Maybe we have to switch something. So if you look at the best like TikToks, right, the best TikToks are usually like, they just go like, they just change dynamically. So if you guys have like a video editor or content sourcing team, this is what you have to communicate. Your creatives need to be dynamic. They need to be dynamic, they need to change fast, because this is how people been trained for this by YouTube, by social media, by everything that's happening right now, to respond to a very like dynamic things, right? That's how human brain works. Human brain reacts to like like very sudden changes, right? It's kind of like generates a response, like it's a fight or flight, like, it's basically run or fight, right? It's like this is what you want to stimulate in human brain. And for that, like your content every like 2-3 seconds need to change. Something needs to change the structure. Maybe it's a different angle, maybe it's some text, maybe it's another element of the content that changes. But this is what you have to um pay attention to. All right. So, do you have experience with Facebook agency accounts? What's the difference between normal ad account and agency account? So, agency accounts are great. Like they they usually have like direct plug with Facebook. So usually these people that are reselling like agency accounts, we've spent millions, like probably like 15-20 million dollars, like with agency accounts, maybe a bit more than that. And like, I mean, they're good, right? They're good, but it's also like they're good for short term, because like you might run some offers, or you might run some more aggressive stuff than you would be able to like with regular accounts. But at the same time, you have to usually wire funds, right? So that slows down your cash flow. Also, there's some fees. Usually there's like few percent on top of the ad spend that you have to pay for the agency accounts. So there's certain things that kind of like bottlenecks with like agency accounts, that like don't allow you. And also, like, let's say you want to build a business, you want to sell the business, so we sell like, we try to sell like several like stores a year, right? That's amazing. That's like one of the best like payouts, for the business that you build. And what you what you'll find is that, like, with agency accounts, is that, like, so you sell a business and then you say like, hey, I have this like agency accounts, and we buy this and we farm this, and like we send money this, and like the buyers like really, like, you know and that's the kind of business you want to, like, you want to sell. Like, so that makes it more difficult to like to sell. And and also you're not building history. So for example, right now we have our own BMs, and within our own BMs, like, we're building our own history, we're building our own spend. We're like, we have decent support from Facebook. It's not the best, but then we're building that history, we're building that relationship with Facebook that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So if you're spending money through agency account, now your agency is building that relationship with Facebook, because they're spending like millions of dollars on your behalf. And they're like, because of that, like, the more money you spend, like, the more seriously Facebook takes you. And like, okay, so these guys are serious, like, they have like a serious business. And that's pretty much like the difference. So if you're looking kind of like for more like short term, kind of like maybe building like the initial capital, then agency accounts might be great. But for a long term, like, you better like have your own business managers, you better have your own like profiles, you better have your own like history that you build. Because if that's um you'll be building their kind of like credit, their history than yours, right? Like, and just long term, that just doesn't make any sense. If you look at any of the like big brands, like successful brands, I mean, they have their own like business managers, they have reps in Facebook, they have good relationships, they usually have the credit lines from Facebook, right? So let's say you spend like $100,000 like this month, now you have another 30 months to pay it, right? So by the end of, let's say, next month, you'll be able to pay that $100,000, which gives you more room to scale, which gives you like more cash flow that you can reinvest back into the business. And that's pretty much what you have to pay attention to. Guys, let me see here. Answer a few more of these. So do you think in the coming years Facebook will be sustainable, or dropshipping will switch more on TikTok? Like, I think the way like drop shipping right now is like looking for like loopholes, and just like testing like general stores. I think that stuff will be getting like more and more difficult, and those businesses are garbage. Like, I mean, you can sell those businesses, right? It's like, I don't know if maybe you guys know anyone who sold that kind of business. Like, I personally don't know. And it's kind of like selling whatever products and then just switching to another one. So what will be getting like more and more, like, obviously, even if you run like a brand, you have like your own your great packaging, great experience, great products, even that will become more and more difficult, right? So it doesn't make it easier, but it makes it more worthwhile. Because, like, let's say you're building a brand like 2, 3, 5 years. It's like the question was like, in upcoming years, like, Facebook will be sustainable, like, but Facebook will be even harder on like on people that create like bad user experience. There will be always loopholes, 100%. There will be people that are writing like, gray hat and black hat and stuff like that, but it just will be more difficult. And the businesses that will do the best are the businesses that will be just like using and abusing Facebook as a front end, like just break even platform, just to get new customers, but will have very strong backend or other channels to basically maximize the lifetime value of those customers. And that is something that is something that you have to pay attention to. Because, like, I'm thinking about the times that we've had, like last few years. Friends of mine, like they had they kind of like reinvested their resources and time and efforts into building like brands, and now they have brands that are like sellable. They're exiting those. They have like patents. They have like trademarks, and their brands are like massively valuable, right? Whereas like we've exited some of our assets, and the multiples that we got for them are not the best because like we don't have all of the like necessary like elements. So I would just like dedicate next few years into building something that's sustainable, the brand that you can like put your name behind, brand that you can be proud of, like brand that you can be like kind of like waking up in the morning and be okay with like selling that stuff. Because like um the days of loopholes, like there always will be loopholes, but they will be just like harder and harder, and like a few years from now, like you will have no business. So that's something that i would I would think about. So where would you find buyers to sell brands? Any website recommendations? So I mean, Shopify, depending on the volume, right? So if your brand does beyond like below like 10 million a year, then there's like many websites you can do, like for example, there's like website closers, there's biz buy sell, there is like Shopify Exchange, there's like Flippa, there's Empire Flipper. So there's many websites like this. Um, Depending on the volume, right? Everything depends on the volume, because at a higher volume, you might need to like develop more strategic like relationships with private equity firms, and that's something that you 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 need more time with. Like, I mean, you have to develop like very, let's say you run a business that sells like um let's say you sell a business that sells, I don't know, like supplements for like diabetes, right? Maybe like, or supplements for whatever, like brain something, right? Maybe Bulletproof, which is a company, that one of the biggest brands like in that space, will want to buy you, right? If your business is like interesting enough. So now you can like develop relationship with those people, because they might acquire you because their customer base is similar to yours, so they'll be able to take advantage of your customer base when they buy it. So this is more um this is more like a strategic like acquisition. So there's like um there's more like there's like different ways to sell the business, right? Like one is when you like sell it to whatever, like to whoever like buys it, and one is like when you strategically picking up, okay, so this is the company that I want to sell my brand to, right? And obviously, like if you be more strategic with this, like then the multiples you will get on it will also be like a lot higher. So that's like, but that's, I mean, if you're like below like 10 million, probably you don't have to, in annual revenue, then you don't have to worry about it. Like that's not something that you have to worry about like at this stage. Just focus on growing your business. All right, so let's see a few more questions here. All right, so what should every brand do to increase its worth to seller? For example, things like having multiple traffic sources, etc. Yeah, definitely. Very good question. So, multiple traffic sources, 100%. That's something that will help you to increase value of the brand. The brand only depends like on Facebook, or mostly depends on Facebook, that reduces its worth because it's more vulnerable. And in order to I mean, other things that you have to think, very simple, right? Like just licensing agreements, guys. And if you want to exit your business, just comment exit, or like if you're just like thinking about that, then just comment exit, and one of our team members will will reach out will reach out to you um to basically kind of like see how we can help, like licensing agreements with your suppliers, right? The fact that, like, let's say your supplier your supplier gives you the permission to sell the products that they're selling, and let's say it's like an exclusive agreement, right? Simple stuff like that, because like if someone buys like your business, they'll be asking like, hey, like, what if like someone just starts selling exactly same product, sourcing the product from exactly same supplier? Like, I mean, what you will tell them, right? So simple stuff like that, like licensing agreements, like usually we have like a checklist, and we're working with brokers who kind of like guiding us through this process, because everything changes all the time, and sometimes there's like ways to like adapt the the requirements. There's ways and need to adapt the requirements for a particular seller. So that's something that we are like kind of like customizing for each exit. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. All right, what kind of products have the most recurring customers? I think brands with recurring customers are automatically more valuable. Very, very good questions. So, products that are consumable, if you think about it, right? Like supplements, pills, um, even like shower, like, I mean, even like the hygiene, like products, like let's say it's like a monthly hygiene club, or like monthly take care of yourself club, right? Like, so stuff like that can have like a higher like recurring like percentage, like every, like, let's say 2 months, like you deliver like a package with like shampoo and like and the soap and like or it's a hair products, right? So for instance, this brand here does like pretty well with it, guys. Like, I like kind of like how they approach it. So look at this. It's very interesting, guys. Let me know if you can see my screen. I'll share my screen. Right. So right, like, so it's called coconut, like club coconut. Boom. Right. Get up to 60% forever. Flat 60 flat rate $40 per month. 6 months commitment. Here's what you get. Like different kind of like combos here. Makeup, right? Different like product lines, like international rewards, stuff like that. Let's say I want it. Let's say I want this one. Right, very nice, very nice. I buy with club $40. I prefer to pay more, $75. So very, very cool. So right, I mean discounts, right? Like, it's kind of like you're in a club. It's like having it's like having like an Amazon Prime. Right? Let me see how much traffic these guys are getting. Yeah, they're decent amount of traffic here. Actually, Spain. Wow. Oh, sorry guys. So yeah, that's something that I would look into, guys. I'll drop it as an inspiration for you. Like, but these type of consumable products, they get usually the best, because like if you're selling, I don't know, let's say what I'm usually recommending to people. Let's say if you're in the pet niche, right? Let's say you're selling products in the pet niche. Let's say you're selling like gadgets. So if you're selling gadgets, then like it's pretty hard to sell like multiple gadgets, like, or sell a gadget every month, right? But you can always look at more kind of like consumable products. For example, like this brand here. This brand here was sold for like, if I'm not mistaken, like 600 million dollars. This brand is like everywhere, right? They're in the um very kind of like competitive, but also like very like rewarding, like once you figure it out. So it's supplements for dogs, like you can see, like behavioral supplements. Like, how cool is this? Like calming. Then you have, like, look at this, how many different products, how many different supplements. So why supplements? Because, like, I mean, you consume, like, or you like your dog consumes these supplements, and then like next month, auto ship and save, right? Auto ship and save. Then next month your dog needs it again, and then 30 days, 45 days, 90 days. So next month, like, your dog needs it again. And that's kind of something that you can add to your business, obviously gradually, obviously test it. But let's say, adding like supplement for dogs that makes them more calm, or like help their joints, or like help their teeth, or so if you're in these kind of niches, like, you have to think about consumable part of the business, because that way you'll have the like more of those like recurring customers, and also higher repeat purchase rate, and that will drastically increase the valuation of your business. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. How do you determine a brand valuation? There's multiple factors. I mean, it ranges all over the place between like 2x profit, sometimes 1.5. Like, if there's a very like vulnerable business or very like urgent transaction, 1x profit. There's like outliers on that, but usually between like 2 and 5, it's most common on annual profit. So if business made like $1 million in profit last year, guys, you'll be able to sell it between like $2 and $5 million. Which, this is a factor that a lot of people don't take into consideration. Building these like shitty drop shipping stores, you will have very hard time selling those. So the earlier you can transition into more like a branded approach and see how you can build like recurring customers, like repeat customers, that's where you will start building that like real asset that will allow you to exit it for very good amount, right? Those are life changing like transactions. Like, let's say you sell a business for like 5, 10, 20 like $1 million, invested in real estate. Let's say $20 million invested in real estate. Like, even if it's like 5% annual, which is like very conservative, very doable, you will be able to hit um, $1 million a year in passive income. This is how passive income is created. It's not like buying some crypto, like mining shit. It's it's usually real estate. Real estate is one of the most like sustainable, um, most sustainable like long term investments. So that's what to think about. So e-commerce can be your vehicle to create that wealth, and then you can create that passive income by investing in assets that actually designed for um kind of like can maintain that wealth, right? The first you make money, and then you think how you can preserve that money, right? So there's like many ways to waste the money. Once you have it, you can buy a Bugatti, or you can buy like real estate that will buy you a Bugatti, right? Like, so um that's a different topic, guys. Let's not deviate here. All right. Would love to see some more content about product development, where you come up with new products that build up on ideas, or even product that already exists on the market. 100%. That's one of the things that we're working on right now. Like, one of the brands that we are like basically in the process of like investing, whereas the product basically is an existing product on the market with only few slight improvements. And that those improvements pretty much just come from like, it's not nothing kind of like very difficult. Those improvements just come from like reading like 1-star reviews on Amazon. Those reviews come from like ordering the product and just like reviewing it. Oh, like, I mean, this doesn't seem like very convenient. Or like, if if I wanted to improve this mouse from Apple, guys, if you have, guys, let me know in the comments if you have like mouse from Apple. Like, let me know the product development on this one. Let me, and just like, let me show you how stupid this product developer or the person who approved this shit was. In order to charge this mouse, you have to put it like, you have to put this thing here. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way you can use the mouse after that. This is what it will look like, right? You can't use it while it's charging. So how stupid is this? So if I would be developing this kind of like mouse, I would put the charger here on the side so that when it's charging, I can still use it, right? So simple stuff like that. A lot of it is, yeah. A lot of the times, like, a lot of the times, guys, it's just a common sense, right? A lot of the times it's just common sense, where like, for whatever reason, like, companies are not creating like perfect products. They're creating like good products, right? But what you can do is like take some of those like features. You don't have to do like a totally new product. I think that's very risky. Sometimes you develop like a new product and then it turns out like no one wants it, right? And that could be like very high like investment to develop like a new product. So what is a better approach is mode. All right. What is a better approach just to improve like basic features? Have a product that I would like to improve on, which makes about 5 million per month. That's crazy shit. I asked the factory, they want 60K for the product mold. Are those prices normal? A bit on the higher side, but like, I don't know the size of the product. I don't know kind of like other details. Like, what you can do is like just try searching through Alibaba, because you might not be the first who tried to improve that product, and maybe there are other versions of the product that are available that you could sell, right? Like that's oftentimes you just go through Alibaba and like there's some sellers, they might not be even like doing like big numbers on Alibaba, but they try to develop something similar or something different from the main product that's on the market. And that's what I would focus on. Like, I would try to find something that already exists so you can at least validate it. There's no problem investing 60 G's for product mold, but it's more of a validation question, right? Okay, so if you improve those kind of like features, whether the demand from the people would be still high, right? Like whether people would still want to buy it, like whether it's like those improvements even worth it, right? Maybe if I create a mouse that like charges normally, no one gives a fuck. I don't know. I mean, I would buy that mouse, but maybe I'm the only person who would buy it. So I think that's a question, like the most important. And this is, guys, like if you're running drop shipping business, like what you have to realize, you have tremendously valuable skill set. And that one tremendously valuable skill set is called validation, being able to validate products. Because what you do with like drop shipping is like you're validating, right? It's like the same as like, wow, there is demand here and I can sell something here. That's the most important thing in business, because like if people make and drop shippers are managing to be profitable, that's amazing, like without creating shit. So from that standpoint, dropshipping model is perfect. Dropshipping model is phenomenal. Dropshipping model is like, wow. It's like you're not investing in product development, you're not investing in malt, you're not investing in like anything, and like you validating something, you're actually selling something that you don't have, or it's like exists on some factory in China, and you're actually making money in the process. That's just phenomenal. But where most drop shippers are going like wrong is like where they just stick to that, right? And they make money and they take money out of business and they're buying like Lambos instead of like reinvesting money back into the business and actually doing the stuff that's more serious, like, hey, how do I create like better version of this product? Like, how do I create like a how to invest in inventory, right? Like how to invest in like new product development, how to invest in like new supplements or new products that I can sell and add to this product line so I can make the business more sustainable. So you need both. You need to be able to validate, right? And you also need to be able to brand and just take products from that initial validation stage to the actual solid foundation. Guys, let me know if that makes sense. And someone asks you here, is PayPal enough to test products in EU? Like, I know in Germany it's like 50-60% of people using PayPal. Probably it is enough, but I mean PayPal will probably give you holes over time as you drive more volume, like, and especially if you scale fast. People ask me, hey Ali, how do I scale like very fast, from 100K per month to like 1 million per month? That is that is the most stupid thing you can do, because if you scale that fast and if you don't have like good payment processing, or you don't have like diversified payment like, most likely like 200, 300, $500,000 of that will be on hold. And this is like this is something like that you have to be aware of, right? It's not about like scaling fast, right? It's like, I mean, you're not Uber like that needed to scale fast, like grow fast or die. Like, you're not like big corporation that needs to scale fast. Like, it's scaling fast usually leads to like big issues. So what's more like sustainable is like, what if like you build a solid foundation for you to scale, right? Like, you warm up these processors, you add these new processors, you develop relationship, making sure your customer support is on point. Let's say, what if like you have issues with like doing like 20-30K per month with PayPal and you have high dispute ratio? What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen if you do 500K per month in volume? Your issues just multiplied 20x, right? Your dispute multiplied 20x. Your All of the issues you had just like multiplied 20x. And how will you deal with those? So that's something that you have to keep in mind, like before like ramping up your stuff, too fast. Make sure your customer support on the point, and you have like strong infrastructure on the back end so you can handle it. I've scaled fast. Like, I mean, I've had cases where I scaled like from 0 to like 1 million in a week. And then having like $300,000 on hold. I mean, obviously we developed like infrastructure over time where we would be able to scale to from 0 to like 1 million in a week, and nothing would happen, right? Because we had good like payment processing structure, and you wouldn't have any holds. But that came with time, that came with experience. So don't rush it. All right. So here, a video on SMS automation for e-commerce would be really helpful. 100%. I'll bring someone in who can show you guys how to do it. And so here on tracking, what is Facebook tracking? So Commently is great. Commently is great. It's like Commently, we're getting like very good, probably like 80-90%, like 90% accuracy with Commently. Triple Whale is great if you have like multi-channel. So if you have like multiple traffic platform, and also because like Triple Whale, like if you read about it, like it's a platform with it's an app with a lot of funding, outside funding, and because of that, they invest a lot of money in development. The main bottleneck with all of these tracking apps is that they want to build new features, but they simply have no capital, like, or not enough capital to build new features, right? And Commonly wins on that side because they have outside funding. Oh, sorry, like Triple Whale wins on that side because they have like outside funding. They can hire like a bunch of developers, and they can develop like multiple features at the same time at a much faster pace than these other apps would be able to do, like Hirus or Omega. Like Hirus is not for like Hirus is good, but it's like I would not. It's not specifically designed for e-commerce. So for e-commerce, it would be either a Triple or Cometly. That's what we use. We use Hirus for our consulting business mostly, and it's doing okay. But it's like Triple Whale or Cometly, I would recommend. Oh, interesting here. Elevar. Elevar. Wow. That's something new, guys. This is why you're on these calls. Like, look at this. Elevar. Crazy. I didn't even hear. Oh, yeah. Wow. Thank you, D Stone, for bringing this up. Elevar. That's some crazy shit. Wow. That's some crazy shit, guys. Look at this. Elevar. Mm. Very, very cool, guys. Hmm. Yeah. Very, very cool. Thank you for bringing this up. I didn't even hear about it. $250, nothing compared to Hirus, as you guys know. And something that you can guys take advantage of 100%. So that's very cool. All right, cool, guys. We will be wrapping up, guys. If you need help with scaling your business and building community of like top e-commerce entrepreneurs, just having like one-on-one feedback from like people who've spent like millions of dollars on ads, like one-on-one help, just comment DSS, not DSS, ESS, comment ESS. It's a very good one. That's a very good one. I'll definitely how to handle downside days where sales are not profitable. It's a very good one, very good topic, guys. But if you need help with scaling your e-commerce business, being like in the community of other like high level e-commerce entrepreneurs, so we can grow together, we can learn from each other, we can help each other evolve, then just DM me ESS or just drop ESS here. So one of our team members will reach out to you and will help you out, guys. And thank you so much for joining this call. I hope you learned something from it. We are here for you to educate, to bring some fresh ideas, to show you guys what's possible. And thank you so much for joining this call. I'll see you guys probably next week. We'll try to do this more often for you. So just comment ESS if you want our team to reach out and see how we can help. We have a community of like 1,000 e-commerce entrepreneurs doing numbers, and there's pretty much solution for everything that every problem that you can imagine, like in e-commerce. We have solutions. We have awesome Brazilian people here. You guys are good in jiu-jitsu. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week. If you have any issues or anything, like, our team members will be in touch here. Just like they'll just message you, or be asking some questions to see how we can help. So thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you